Another day out here and enjoying the weather. A little bit of wind today, overcast. We have had a lot of rain coming in the last few days here. And it is these hikes. Today it's a hike day. It gives a lot of extra time to think about things. And today's topic is mind and body. Now let me just say right away, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not an expert in any way, in any means. I don't hold any degrees that can be used for much in this regard. But it doesn't mean that I'm an ignorant to it. I've actually been working professionally with a lot of holistic healers for the past 3 years, and I've learned a lot. One of the guys that I have been working with is, or not working with, but I've done some work for, is Joe Dispenza, that has a mantra or a saying that where your energy is where your focus is where your energy is. And I think that's extremely important to notice that, because in these support groups that I'm a member of, I see a lot of people being in despair because they're so afraid that they're doing the protocols wrong, and they're so afraid they don't have the finances they need to do the protocols, and they're so afraid that they don't encompass all the important protocols. The more the merrier. And in turn they get stressed. They really do not function very well because they suffer from anxiety. I see people, they say, oh, I've been diagnosed with this and the prognosis is that. And I keep telling people, well, you might have a good reason to believe in the diagnosis because the doctors are good at that. But prognosis, well, it all depends on what you want to do and who you are. And what they can say is just basically statistics. And that is not particularly relevant, really. So, given the fact that we are all capable of thinking ourselves sick, we all know that. If we suffer from anxiety or stress in the job or in the relationship, we will very much easier get a cold, and we get headaches, and we maybe get other issues. Thinking is a powerful tool if you want to heal. And while people seem to agree that we do actually have the capacity to think ourselves sick, they do not seem to agree to the same extent that we can think ourselves healthy. But why not? I'm just saying, it should be a fact that if you can think yourself sick, you can think yourself healthy. But how do you do that? That's a good question, because I seriously believe that a lot of people are suffering unnecessarily because they are so focused on everything that they can put in their face. And they forget that the mind and the body are the two components that are the strongest assets in your healing process. But you gotta nurture your mind and your body. And so every supplement that you take, whatever food course you do, it will aid you. Of course it will. And if you are having a very stressful and very anxiety-full life, then your protocols might help you in reducing the speed by which things are going in the wrong direction, but they won't help you more than that. That is obviously time for you to reconsider and maybe adjust and maybe change. But if you're doing the right thing, on the other hand, mentally and for your body, and you're doing protocols at the same time, I believe that those protocols will just give you an added benefit that will expedite the healing process. But for that, it is very important that you maintain a positive attitude, that the glass is never half empty, it's always half full. And it's always a matter of how you focus on things. I see people, they say, oh, I've been given 2 months to live. No, they don't say. They say I'll die in 2 months. I don't want to die. And they're so focused on death that is what was going to manifest itself. Now, you could say it's the same thing, but if you're instead saying, gosh, I love life. Gosh, I am so privileged that I'm still at my senses and I'm still capable of making changes to my life if it needs adjustments in the process of healing. I am so blessed that I still have a few more moments on this earth. And I've even had the opportunity to be here in the first place. If you take all these positive things and that's how you focus on it, It would be the same thing, you could say, as being negative, but now you're manifesting all the good things. It's a bit of a funny topic though, because am I right? Well, I know that if you are talking to an expert in the field of work, Joe Dispenza, of course I'm right. I think actually Bruce Lipton will agree to it as well. But personally, I'm still there where I need to prove it. And here's the catch-22. I might prove it, I might not prove it, because no person are the same. And so while I can be right about what I'm saying in terms of the psychology, and while I'm 100% sure I'm right, by the way, then my cancer, the cancer I have, might respond different to it. And in conjunction with the different protocols I do, I might hit it wrong. Who knows? That's some of the interesting part of what we're doing right now. We're doing something that is good for the body, that is healthy, that has no side effects, but all that is actually not very interesting if it does not work. But I believe it does work. So attitude, mental attitude, but it has to be a honest, rooted, positive mental attitude. It has not to be, I think it's working, and then that's it. And then you just go out there and you start scouring for more supplements that seems to be working for you. No, that's why I actually have started to recommend people doing meditations, because that's a moment in life where you've got to sit tight and you've got to sit still and you got to find that inner peace within yourself, and you're not running around like a headless chicken trying to find solutions, but you can actually try to center yourself and get your body and mind in balance. And I'm 100% sure that there, in just that, you'll find a lot more value alone, but also more value to your protocols if you combine it with that. So yeah, mental attitude is absolutely paramount. It's a choice of words, always a choice of words, and make it a good habit anyway. It's a good way of living, that when you have something to say, choose the positive version of those words. And if you have something you are afraid of, well, choose the positive angle on that. And if something happens that were unforeseen and you didn't like it initially, well, see if you can find a positive angle to that change. Like, for instance, when I told my daughter that I had prostate cancer, she had a breakdown. She started to cry because her initial reaction is that she was going to be, she was afraid that she was going to lose me very soon. And as I said to her, don't worry, darling, in the future, you'll probably see that this is going to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because I had started some life-changing adjustment to my diet before I got diagnosed. But now, because of the diagnosis, I can actually maintain those so much easier, because I have this as a kind of a guardian angel. So as I said to friends right now, the fact that I've got prostate cancer, it's right now a gift. It gives me a challenge that I really, really like. In addition to the fact it keeps me on track in terms of health, with a lot more discipline than I would have had otherwise. It's not that I'm lacking discipline in general, but there's always a reason and to slip a little. And since we're doing okay, why not? But now it's not, oh, we're doing okay, so why not? Now there's so much more at stake. So now I'm blessed, because, as I've mentioned so many times before, I've not felt this good for 26 years. And yeah, that's because now my focus is much more in one direction. I might also say, just as a final comment on the positive mindset here, try to find some reasons that things are progressing for you. Try to find all the small lights in the dark. That makes a huge difference too. And I've just had a subscriber that, or maybe, I don't know if it's a subscriber really, but somebody commented on my video, you know who you are, that I had to look into something called Lipsomal vitamin C. I had touched base with that earlier, but I guess the topic was too heavy for me, or I didn't have too much faith in vitamin C as being a protocol to look at. So I have seen the videos, I can see that on my video history, but I never did anything more about it. Now my knowledge has improved dramatically, and I realized that vitamin C might be interesting, and by doing it by Lipsomal, wow. And it's like last time, I think I said before I did my PSA, that I'm a bit nervous because now I've done everything there is to do and there's nothing more I can tweak on. But there is now. I've ordered the ultrasonic cleaner which I need for the project in China, and I'm expecting to get it in about a week's time. And when I do, I will share how I use that, and I'll share more details about what it is. But just ahead of time, if you want to look it up, Lipsomal Vitamin C DIY. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I have so much faith in that therapy that if I don't have all the results I want and need by the 22nd this month, I'm still optimistic that I have something I can tweak on to make it better. Anyway, that was just a little out and walk talk. Until next time, stay healthy.